Greetings from Shepherd's Heart Fellowship in Osceola, Indiana. I'm Marcia Troop. I work with Christian education and the missions and evangelism teams, and I also help with the praise teams in our worship service. We've been exploring the idea of encouraging one another. Today we're going to look at a story about friends for life, David, Jonathan, and Saul. You remember that story? Well, at a young age, David was anointed to become the next king of Israel after Saul's reign. Later, David was in the palace. He became the harp player for Saul when he was depressed and out of sorts. At the palace, he met Saul's son, Jonathan, and they became good friends. I've always wondered about this friendship. Jonathan, as son of the king, would normally be assumed to be the next heir to the throne. But it didn't seem to cause the jealousy that I would have suspected, and they became good friends. Actually, they became friends for life. 1 Samuel 18:1 says, Jonathan became one in spirit with David. Now that's a really close friend. When Saul was angry and jealous and depressed, he tried to kill David, and Jonathan defended him. When he asked his father why David should be put to death, he ended up having to dodge one of his own father's spears. Wow, he was grieved at his shameful treatment of his friend from verse 34. Jonathan went on to protect and help David many times. This was a life-giving bond as they spurred each other on to serve and love God. How might you similarly encourage a friend today? This is from December 15th, Our Daily Bread, written by Amy Booker Pye. How could you build up a friend today? Well, now let's look at Paul for a different kind of encouraging. Paul experienced many difficulties during his ministry, as we read in 2 Corinthians 11. Beatings, stonings, floggings, shipwreck, hunger, sleep deprivation, his deep concern for the churches, etc., etc. Even so, he kept going in his work because he experienced the comfort of God. He learned intimately that God is the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, from 2 Corinthians 1:3. Or as another version translates it, he is the Father who gives tender love. Much like a mom comforting her child, God bends down low to tenderly care for us in our pain. From December 22, Our Daily Bread by Ann Cetus. There are many ways that God comforts us. A special scripture that spurs us on, a special note or a text from a friend, a phone call, maybe a prayer phone call from someone who touches us in a special way, and on and on. And Cetus writes, while the struggle may not go away because God bends down low to help us, we can get up and pedal on. I like that. God can be our encourager too. So now, a few more scriptures to encourage us to encourage others and to build others up. In Acts, Judas and Silas were encouraging believers by both teaching and giving an example. Acts 15:32, Judas and Silas, who themselves were prophets, said much to encourage and strengthen the believers. To Timothy, 2 Timothy 4:2, preach the word, be prepared in season and out of season, correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instruction. That tells me that I have to be prepared also. We have to be ready to be able to do that for people. In the following verse, I tried to make it more relevant by changing the he to we. He, or we, must hold firmly to the trustworthy message as it has been taught, so that he, or we, can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. And finally, in Paul's letter to Philemon, Philemon 1:7, your love has given me great joy and encouragement because you, brother, have refreshed the hearts of the Lord's people. So as I end this, I thought maybe we'd go back to the beginning, make this circle complete. What was that definition we had of encourage? To inspire with courage, spirit, and confidence, to stimulate by assistance, approval, etc., to promote, advance, or foster. These are good ways for us to reach out and help share with one another. And the verse we started with was from 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just in fact you are doing. It's the opposite of tearing down, remember. We're building people up and encouraging them. Thank you for listening to me for these 4 sessions, and I hope you have enjoyed them as much as I have enjoyed putting them together. Godspeed, and may you be a great encourager today.